Henyard says she is endorsing a new board, but not announcing who they are just yet, instead promising to name them later this month. Henyard is under investigation by the FBI.
You're using public funds for something that taxpayer dollars shouldn't be used for.
It was the kind of news that stops an entire town in its tracks. Thornton Township Supervisor and Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor, was arrested earlier today by federal agents after years of swirling accusations, heated board meetings, and bold public stunts. The FBI's investigation had been mounting for months, if not years, but few predicted this dramatic twist. Henyard's arrest has left the community stunned, her critics vindicated, and her supporters scrambling to defend her.
Stories new at 6. Embattled Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is mounting a re-election bid. Henyard made the announcement in a post on her Facebook page.
But how did we even get here? Let's rewind and examine the chaotic series of events that may have sealed Henyard's fate, from her controversial tenure as mayor to the audacious allegations of corruption and abuse of power that finally led to her downfall.
The election is not until 2025, yet Tiffany Henyard has officially decided she wants to stay as mayor despite the cloud of controversy surrounding her.
First, let's talk about the arrest itself. Henyard was reportedly taken into custody early in the morning at her Dolton home. Witnesses described seeing several federal agents entering the property, while others noted that her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, was also present during the arrest. Woods, who has been embroiled in his own controversies, reportedly looked on as the agents led Henyard into custody. While details about the charges remain under wraps, sources close to the investigation claim they include allegations of embezzlement, misuse of public funds, and of obstruction of justice. Henyard's arrest comes as part of an ongoing federal probe into her handling of Township and Dolton finances, an investigation that has already sent ripples through the political landscape of the South suburbs. To understand the gravity of this moment, one has to look back at the long trail of controversies that have shadowed Henyard since she took office in 2021. From the start, she made headlines for her larger-than-life persona. She wasn't just a mayor or township supervisor, she was super mayor, a title she used proudly and plastered across banners, billboards, and social media posts. Her face became a constant presence in Dolton and Thornton Township, appearing on promotional materials, event flyers, and even village welcome signs. Critics were quick to label her behavior as self-aggrandizing, but Henyard brushed off the accusations, claiming she was simply a leader who liked to connect with her people. "I'm the people's mayor and the people's supervisor," she declared in one of her many public speeches.
Now to important business in Thornton Township, which hit a roadblock tonight, not because of the weather, not because of logistics, but because 2 trustees refused to show up.
But behind the flashy image was a troubling pattern of alleged financial mismanagement. Reports of questionable spending began to emerge early in her tenure. There were claims of extravagant credit card purchases for items ranging from high-end furniture to luxury travel. One particularly shocking revelation was a $43,000 spending spree on Amazon in a single day allegedly charged to village accounts. Then there was the infamous skating rink, a $2 million project that many residents claimed was built without proper approval and only seemed to open when Henyard was hosting an event. Critics accused her of using taxpayer money to fund personal vanity projects, while supporters argued that she was simply trying to improve the community.
Their absence prevented Supervisor Tiffany Henyard from filing a vacancy on the board. So what is going on and why the power play?
But the spending wasn't the only issue. Henyard's leadership style raised eyebrows from the very beginning. Her regular clashes with the Dolton Village Board of Trustees became a hallmark of her administration. Meetings often devolved into shouting matches, with trustees accusing Henyard of overstepping her authority and Henyard firing back with accusations of sabotage. In one particularly chaotic meeting, Henyard stormed out after being heckled by residents and trustees alike. "You all should be ashamed of yourselves," she shouted before leaving the room. Moments like these painted a picture of a leader under siege, battling not just her critics, but seemingly the entire political establishment. Henyard's combative approach wasn't limited to boardrooms, it spilled into the streets and social media platforms as well. She frequently used Facebook live streams to call out her critics by name, often accusing them of undermining her leadership out of jealousy or personal grudges. In one particularly fiery broadcast, she referred to her detractors as enemies of progress and warned that she would expose every single one of them. These online tirades became a regular spectacle, drawing both supporters who cheered her on and critics who questioned her professionalism. Meanwhile, some residents feared retaliation, claiming that Henyard weaponized her influence to silence dissent, whether through lawsuits, public shaming, or the strategic use of township resources.
Dawn and Scott, the meeting wrapped up early because 2 trustees, as you mentioned, did not show up. Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle. Without them, not enough board members were present to make official decisions.
Adding fuel to the fire were allegations that Henyard had also begun to alienate key allies within her own administration. Over time, several former supporters, including trustees who once championed her initiatives, turned against her, accusing her of consolidating power at the expense of transparency and collaboration. Even her former assistant, Carmen Carlisle, emerged as a vocal critic, alleging that Henyard frequently ignored established procedures to push through her own agenda. She doesn't consult anyone. It's her way or the highway, Carlisle said in a recent interview. These internal fractures further isolated Henyard, creating an atmosphere of distrust and dysfunction that only deepened the divide between her and the board.
You must show up to your scheduled board meetings. I don't care if you agree or disagree, but you must show up to say yes or no, or vote present.
As the tensions escalated, so did the allegations against Henyard. Trustees claimed she was bypassing board approval for major decisions, including the appointment of key officials. Her controversial appointment of Ronald Burge as Dolton's police chief became a flashpoint. Burge, whose state certification was reportedly inactive at the time, was accused of lacking the proper qualifications for the role. Trustees argued that Henyard's unilateral decision to appoint him was illegal, but a judge allowed Burge to serve in an interim capacity. The appointment only deepened the rift between Henyard and the trustees, with one describing her actions as a blatant disregard for proper protocol. Then there were the accusations of intimidation and retaliation. Several residents and business owners came forward with stories of being targeted by Henyard's administration. One business owner claimed his company was shut down after he refused to make a political donation to Henyard's campaign. Another alleged that Henyard used the Dolton Police Department as her personal enforcement squad, harassing critics and opponents. Even her former assistant, Carmen Carlisle, turned against her, calling herself a whistleblower and accusing Henyard of running the township like her own personal fiefdom. Carlisle's defection was particularly damning, as she had once been one of Henyard's closest allies. But perhaps the most shocking accusations were those related to Henyard's handling of township finances. Trustees claimed she was withholding financial records and forging checks to bypass board approvals. One former trustee described the situation as a shell game, with Henyard allegedly moving money between accounts to cover up deficits and fund unapproved projects. The township, once believed to have a healthy surplus, was revealed to be millions in the red. A preliminary report from former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was hired to investigate the township's finances, painted a grim picture of financial mismanagement and lack of oversight. Henyard, however, dismissed the report as a political hit job, accusing her critics of hate, jealousy, and envy.
Every single resident, pay me what you owe me.
Despite the mounting controversies, Henyard maintained a defiant stance. She continued to hold public events, including turkey giveaways and holiday parties, often using these occasions to defend her record and rally her supporters. In one particularly memorable Facebook Live video, she addressed her critics directly, calling them Judases and vowing to fight back. "When I sue everybody because I'm coming for defaming my name, defaming my character in this conspiracy to destroy Tiffany Henyard, I will come for everyone," she declared. The video, which ran for nearly an hour, showcased Henyard's fiery personality and determination to clear her name.
Hey guys.
But while Henyard was busy defending herself on social media, the FBI was quietly building its case. Federal agents reportedly began their investigation earlier this year, interviewing witnesses and subpoenaing financial records from both Dolton and Thornton Township. The probe expanded to include Henyard's political committee and charity, with investigators looking into allegations of money laundering and misuse of public funds. Arrest of one of Henyard's top allies earlier this year was seen as a turning point, with many speculating that he had agreed to cooperate with authorities in exchange for leniency. As news of Henyard's arrest spread, reactions from the community were swift and polarized. Supporters expressed shock and disbelief, with some accusing the FBI of targeting Henyard because of her status as a young, Black woman in a position of power. "This is just another example of the system trying to tear down a strong Black leader," one supporter said. Critics, however, saw the arrest as a long overdue reckoning. "She's been running this town like her own personal kingdom for years. It's about time someone held her accountable," a longtime Dolton resident remarked.
So yeah, I keep telling y'all never, ever, ever find another person like me.
But what does Henyard's arrest mean for the future of Dolton and Thornton townships? With the mayor now in federal custody, the political landscape of the south suburbs is sure to shift dramatically. Trustees and residents alike are calling for new leadership, while some worry that the scandal will tarnish the reputation of the entire community. "We need to rebuild trust and restore integrity to our local government," one trustee said. "This is a wake-up call for all of us." As the dust settles, one thing is clear: the saga of Tiffany Henyard is far from over. Her arrest marks the beginning of what promises to be a long and complex legal battle. Will she fight the charges and attempt a political comeback? Or will this be the end of her controversial career? And what lessons can be learned from her rise and fall? Let us know your thoughts. Do you think Henyard's arrest was justified? Or is she being unfairly targeted? And what does this mean for the future of Dolton and Thornton Township? Share your opinions below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this developing story. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.